Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of JT Talks Jobs. This is the show that teaches you everything that school didn't when it comes to job search and career growth, and specifically today, LinkedIn. I haven't done one of these sessions in a really long time, and I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be talking about LinkedIn profiles, top to bottom, what you need to be thinking about. I'm going to give you the perspective from the eyes of a recruiter and hiring manager, from other individuals looking at your profile. We're going to talk about tips and trends. You know, LinkedIn's always evolving, just like every social media platform. So how you choose to fill out your LinkedIn profile is very, very important because it needs to be on point with what's happening in the world. And as we know, there's a lot happening in the world today. So very excited to be chatting with you about all of this. And listen, before I get started, I have to remind you, it's really important I do. I want to give a shout out to my teammate, Caitlin, who's manning the chat line today. We have a ton of free resources. If you are one of the 47 million and counting people in the US alone who has been affected by what's going on in the world, it can be overwhelming. It can be hard to get motivated. It can feel daunting. And all I can tell you is that baby steps. And the way that you do that baby step is by getting a free resource and just listening, getting some new perspective, attending events like this, just doing things. We call ourselves Work It Daily for a reason. You don't need to spend hours and hours. It doesn't have to be a full-time job, but just a little bit every day to get you going and motivated and in the right direction. You can do this. I promise you. While job search is a skill that we all need to learn how to do today because every job is temporary, there's not a single person that shouldn't be learning how to do this. The good news is it's not rocket science and it's not brain surgery. And in fact, today, all the tips I'm going to show you, they're very easy to implement. And so with that in mind, we're going to get down to a little LinkedIn profile review. One thing I want to remind you all before you get started, anytime you're making changes to your LinkedIn profile, it's really important you go over to the settings and you turn off the activity notifications. That's because if that's on, every little change, every time you try 6 different photographs, 6 different headshots, you change your headline 16 times, it's going to ding all of your followers, all your connections. So you want to turn that activity setting off until you've fully optimized the profile, then turn it back on because you do want them to see when you post an interesting content, like a video or an article, or you share, an interesting dialogue. That part you do want people to see because that's your brand and that's why you get on LinkedIn. But for this exercise today, make sure before you get started, you do turn off the activity setting, okay? Awesome. Well, what I'm going to be doing today is taking some, at random, and sorry, I've got, I think, a little allergy going here. At random, I'm going to be taking a couple of LinkedIn profiles, but don't put your LinkedIn profiles in yet. I'm not going to take them yet. When the time comes, I'm going to invite you to pop your LinkedIn profile in. And if you are one of the people that I select at random, I am going to take you through your LinkedIn profile top to bottom. But if you put it in now, it won't get picked. So don't do it yet. Okay, folks? All right, very good. Because what I want to do is show you that I practice what I preach. I'm going to go over to my own LinkedIn profile and just talk about some of the key tips and trends that are really important right now so that you can start to visualize what I'm talking about. And we'll do a few examples today, okay? Awesome. All right, let's do this. So let me bring my profile up for starters. So here I am on LinkedIn, and I've got my profile here today. And so obviously you say that I've got a profile picture, and it's really important, folks, these days that your picture be, it doesn't have to be professionally done. In fact, I think that professionally done photographs can look almost overdone these days. You know, we live in a time where people are working remote, but it does need to be well lit. Please make sure that it's very well lit and that they can clearly see your face. Now, in my case, I've actually updated with a picture of me in my home office, right? Because I'm live broadcasting with you all the time. So it makes sense for me to be in my home office. But if you don't have, a home office per se, the safest thing to do is to use a very neutral photo. So you want to have a friend or family member grab a smartphone. You want to put on your attire and you want to go against a neutral wall, a blank wall and you want to make sure there's a lot of good bright light that's facing your face because you want to light yourself up. And then you want somebody to take as many pictures as you can. It'll feel like a photo shoot. And somewhere in there will be one that you're comfortable with. Now, if you're not sure whether or not your photo is like hitting the mark, there is a free site that you can go over to. It's called Photo Feeler. Photo Feeler, all one word, PHOTOFEELER.com. And you can put a couple photos in there and people will rate you, which I don't know how you feel about being judged, but they rate you so that you can get a sense of what kind of impression you're giving based on your photograph. It's a great way to figure out what photo you want to put on there. And so something for you to do, because sometimes I see people and they think, wow, I look really professional. And I look at it and go, oh, you look mean. You know what I mean? So we're not often very good judges of ourselves. They joke that everyone thinks they have style and a sense of humor. Have you ever heard that phrase? Everyone thinks they have style and a sense of humor. So this is the same thing with photos. We tend to like photos that other people may not like as much. So photo feeler can be a great way. It's basically picture crowdsourcing, or, you know, ask some folks that you know, but just make sure you pick a picture that makes you look professional and approachable, but again, has a very neutral backdrop, or, you know, in this case, if you've got an office, that probably makes sense too. Okay. Now, the next thing you're going to notice is up at the top. In my case, because, you know, Work It Daily is important to me, I've gone with a very simple Work It Daily banner. If you have that premium feature, what you want to put up there is, I mean, if you have your own business, then you would do that. But if not, we tend to either put a picture that represents our industry or a picture that represents our geographic location. Why is that? Well, recruiters are going to be hiring you on one of those things, right? I mean, obviously, if the job is in Austin, Texas, and I open this up and I see the Austin skyline, well, I know that this person lives in Texas. So we're always told that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, when it comes to the banner, you want to leverage the power of that. Sometimes I see people put kind of random things in there, or they put a sunset. This isn't Facebook. That's not how you want to do this here. If you're going to use the banner, you want to use it to mentally help the viewer make a connection. And that's why I say a cityscape is good to tell them what location that you're focused on. Again, a picture that relates to your industry. It's a really funny story. I worked with an executive one time and we switched his profile banner. He was in global shipping. And so he had this beautiful aerial shot of the massive shipping containers inside a global port with a ship loading them on and off. And as soon as he put that on there, he immediately started getting better recruiter outreach, because it told the recruiters, oh, he does what we're supposed to do. Sounds weird. Now, it's not going to happen for all of you, but sometimes when you have a very distinct industry or skill set that you're in, it really does pay to have that banner picture up there. Otherwise, if you really don't have anything good, leave it blank. Now, moving on, as we look at the headline, everyone will notice here that I'm using vertical line dividers. It's very important that you do that, because recruiters spend a lot of money. A lot of people don't realize it costs thousands of dollars for recruiters to have the special recruiter license, or they call it the recruiter seat, the software access to LinkedIn. And it lets them put keywords in. And recruiters are technical buyers. So if I'm a recruiter, I may not know what you really do for a living. Yeah, I may not understand the nuances of your job, but a hiring manager is going to tell me you need things like project management, marketing, sales. They're going to give me your transferable skill sets. So that's exactly what I'm going to put in the search algorithm, because I don't want everyone. I want the people to match that. Now, we know the headline is prime real estate. So if the skill sets they've been told to search on are in your headline, it's sending a message to that recruiter in that search algorithm that out of the 700 million plus people on LinkedIn, you're a better match because you literally chose to put that in your headline. So this is what I mean about prime real estate and how you want to choose very carefully what you want to be found for. And this might change over time. So you can see for me, these are all the skill sets that I most align with for my business, but you're going to choose what works for you. And you're going to look at, say, if you're in active job mode, you're going to look at some job descriptions and say, what are the 4 or 5 key skill sets that all these jobs are inquiring about? That's what you would put in there so that statistically you could increase the chances of being found. Now, another little tip I'm going to tell you all, LinkedIn rewards you for activity on your profile. So the first time you do a change like that, you're going to see a little uptick in people who view your profile. It triggers some things. But eventually, maybe over the course of the month, that'll start to drop off. So you know what you do? You come in here and you swap one out. Swap one out that you don't think is tractioning and put something else in. Every month, just come in and swap one out. And you're going to trigger the algorithm to relook at your profile. So it's a very regular habit. And this is why you want to spend time on a regular basis on your profile on LinkedIn. Now, moving down to the About section. This one is a big deal and probably one of the most controversial things that I talk about on LinkedIn. So I really want to get that up there front and center. And you know what? I'm even going to, let me just bring this fully up on the screen so that you can see it. Okay, so you guys can all see that there, right? So there's so much controversy about this. There are a lot of people that think you should bring your personality to your profile and tell them a little bit about yourself, and that you should give them your personal branding statement and tell them what you're looking for in an employer. And I'm going to tell you, I don't buy it. I'm going to be really blunt. That's because most of the time, this LinkedIn profile is their first impression of you. It's the first time they've ever met you. So if you put in a lot of personality and you get all sorts of creative, there are absolutely going to be some people who read it and love it. No question about it. No question. But there are also going to be some people that don't like it at all. The problem is you can't figure out which ones are the ones you want to like it and which are the ones you don't. And recruiters, just like you and I, are all different. There's nothing you can write here that's going to guarantee that every recruiter is going to love your personality, because they're all different. So my advice, and when I'm coaching folks inside Work It Daily, when we work with them, because we have them do their profiles this way, and then we proof them and we look at them for them, and I tell them, this is about the facts. Less is more. You want to give just enough information here so that the recruiter can validate you have the experience they were told to look for. And the best way to do that is to be very objective. So what do I mean by that? Well, recruiters are technical buyers. They cannot hire you. They can screen you out, but they cannot hire you for the job, nor would they ever, because they don't know the job. But as a technical buyer, the way they're evaluated on how well they do their job is by how many people they bring to the hiring manager that are an exact match based on what the hiring manager asked for. So you can see why a lot of recruiters look for very specific skill sets. And people get frustrated with this because they say, JT, I have like 80% of the skills, or, I know I could do that job even though I'm not an exact match. I know you could do the job too. And the recruiter probably knows you can do the job. But that's not what they were told to do. Their job is to find someone who's a match. So what you don't want to do here is oversell yourself or personalize so much that you're going to get yourself screened out. You want to stick to just the facts. And you want to do it in such a way that it says, wow, it looks like this person has what we're looking for, but there's not enough information here for me to know. So I guess I'm going to have to reach out to them and ask a few more questions. Ding, 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 ding. This is marketing 101. And I know my marketing people are going to back me up here. If I tell you everything I've ever done, and I try to write an epic novel in the about section, and I put in paragraphs in the work history, one, it won't get read. But two, if I don't see what I'm looking for, I'm going to assume you don't have it. Of course, recruiters will say to you, you should really put more on your profile, because it helps them screen you out without ever having to contact you. So this is about a balance. This is marketing teaser copy. And so my secret sauce is that I have 1 to 2 sentences where I roll up my experience so they can understand the depth of my experience using numbers. And so if you read mine, it says, former HR and recruiting industry executive with 18 plus years of experience in the development and delivery of professional and executive level career coaching and outplacement services, have managed teams of 5 to 50 plus with budgets of 1 million to 35 million plus. So you understand in just a couple of sentences the depth of my experience through those numbers without me having to, get creative. And I'll tell you, there's nothing worse than when people open up with, I'm a proven leader. Okay, says who? All that subjective text where you hype yourself, not really in tune with the times. 47 million people in the US have filed for unemployment in the last 3 months. Everybody's got skills on this platform. So when you start hyping yourself as proven and amazing, it doesn't feel right. Stick to the facts. And then you'll see that I did a specialties list and I listed out all the key skill sets or areas. See how easy that is to read? If I'm a recruiter, I can go through and say, oh yeah, check. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, let me keep rolling. And now what this is going to do by setting it up this way is it's going to get them, and I'm going to scroll down here. It's going to get them to do what? They're going to have to scroll down to see this info. It's just enough to go, well, where did she get that info? And then they're going to start heading on down. They're going to see my activity, which is why it's very important you all start getting active. It's going to see what we're talking about. And then it's going to see your work history. And you will see that I've spaced out my bullet points, and they're all very numbers driven and simple. And the reason for that is, again, I don't want it to be boring to the recruiter or the hiring manager or whoever's reading it. I want to use numbers and facts to validate my experience and show them what I've gotten done. These speak volumes in a very simplistic way. So I cannot stress that enough to everybody, because right now it's all about emotional intelligence and intellectual humility. And by intellectual humility, what I mean is you have to really play low key and just say, hey, here are the facts. Here are the stats. Here's what I've accomplished. Here are the numbers. I'm not going to tell you that I'm the greatest thing ever. I'm not going to tell you that I'm a proven self-starter and I'm highly innovative with attention to detail, because immediately people go, really? Okay, the recruiter says it's my job to figure that out about you. Just tell me the facts. And if you give them enough facts and enough information, you're going to make it easier to read. But you're also going to optimize this in a way that you're going to show up in more search results. And that's what you want to do. Couple that with some regular updating, once a month, updating your headline, and every day posting something in your feed of value, and you will create a cadence and a momentum with your LinkedIn profile that's going to get you more views and more connections. Especially if you are in outreach mode right now. If you are customizing connection requests and asking people to meet with you, they're going to go over and check out your profile. So you really want to make sure that it's got that depth, but it's not overdone. Does that make sense to everybody? Excellent. Okay. I'm going to take a couple questions and then I will tell you when we will look for LinkedIn profiles. Okay. So let me start at the top here, see if we got any questions. By the way, so good to see you all here. Going through. So I saw a question here. Stay with me. All the way down here. Question in all caps. And here we go. Here's one. What do you think of putting in the headline? Let's see here. I help companies seeing outside the box solutions for their supply chain by a cross-functional process improvement to let them know what you offer. So here's my problem with that. And this is, thank you for posting this. So if you put that in your headline, first of all, it's a sentence, okay? And how many of those words do you think a recruiter is searching on? They're not searching on I help companies seeing. They're not searching on outside the box solutions. About the only thing on there that I see that they might search on is supply chain and maybe process improvement. So of all the prime real estate on your headline, if you use that sentence, you're going to show up in far fewer job searches, far fewer recruiter searches. Sorry. So my advice is no, I wouldn't do that. Instead, in your about section, I might say something like this, and you're going to fill in the blanks for me. X plus years of experience, the actual number. So let's say 10 plus years experience in supply chain, period. Have led over 50 projects, 50, with teams ranging in the size of 2 to 20 and budgets ranging in the size of 5,000 to 5 million, period. That would be the 3 sentences in the about section. And then I would list your specialties. That's where that goes. And see how it was objective and numbers driven, and I immediately get the sense of the depth of your experience? That is so much more helpful to somebody other than what you wrote here. The outside the box, you might think you're outside the box, but the snarky and cynical reader of your profile is going to go, says you. And I know that's awful, but it's true. We're a judgy culture. Whatever you put on there is going to get judged. So this is why I don't want people, as much as they want to get creative, I would much rather see you optimize the way I'm discussing now so that it really just validates what people are looking for and gets them to want to call you and have a conversation with you. And that's where you can talk out of box. Okay? Awesome question. Thank you for that. Let's see. So one comment here, question here. What's your view on the green open to work frame around the photo? Okay, so this just came out on LinkedIn. It's a brand new feature that they made available that's going to put a little circle around you that says that you are open to work, which is basically implying that you are probably impacted by a reduction in workforce during the current crisis, okay? I get why they're doing it. This is one of those things that I can't make a recommendation because I fear that it's good in theory, but not in practice. And hear me out. For every one recruiter out there that's like, I want to help somebody get back to work, so I'm going to only look at people with the open profile and I'm going to get somebody back to work. I love those people, by the way. And I know those recruiters are out there. But for every one of those, there's another recruiter that was told, look for somebody who's currently working. So, and now you might say, well, then I don't want to work for those companies. But you may want to work for those companies. And so that little green arrow is going to make some green circle is going to make some people not even bother to look at you. That is just a reality. Can I predict who it is? No. Can I predict what percentage won't look? I don't know. And so that's why people have asked me ever since this came out, what do you think, JT? And my advice is, I think I need some data. I think LinkedIn needs to bring us some data around it. I think you could try it for a week, and hopefully you get some traction, and then you could report back to us. But I have no clinical data to support that this would work, but I do have some data in the past that says the reality is it's harder for people who are unemployed to get hired because there is employment discrimination. Now, I would love to see that thrown out the window given all that's going on in the world today, but there are going to be some people who are continued to be biased. That's just our world. So I say try it, but I say test it. And I can't make any guarantees either way. Great question. Not an easy answer. Yeah, not an easy answer. Let's see. Saw another question here. Kendra, hey Kendra, says, what's your opinion on boot camps if you want to get into the tech field? Is it good to note on LinkedIn if you are in the process of further learning? Yeah, I think you should note that you're in a boot camp. Kendra, my big advice on boot camps, I'm a fan of any of these organizations that are providing an affordable way for you to gain one of these skill sets. But I'll tell you what's even more important than that. Ask them about how they get their alumni jobs. What is their recruitment process like? For the same reason, I am really challenging every college in America to up their career support center. I'm going to say all these boot camps need to do the same. You want to ask them what their placement rate is, and you want to ask them exactly what they do to help place you. Because it doesn't matter what you spent. If they're not going to help you get a job, it's going to be harder. We get the education, but we lack the experience, and most employers want to hire somebody with experience. So they have to have developed relationships with employers who are willing to give you internships and work right out of school. And that's very, very important. So check in on that. But otherwise, I'm a fan. I've seen a lot of people go through them and end up landing great jobs and have great experiences. You just got to do your due diligence and make sure you've partnered up with a good boot camp and that they've got a solid plan for you when it's over. Okay, so let's see. I am going to, now is the time, I'm going to open it up before we take new comments. If you are willing, now hear me closely, folks, because I have to preface this. I'm going to be showing your LinkedIn profile here, and there's thousands of people watching. So you got to be comfortable with that. But hey, your profile is public. Somebody could find it. But if you would like me to go top to bottom through your profile, and I'll tell you what I'm seeing and some suggestions, please put your full public URL in the chat right now. I'm going to pick somebody at random. Okay. So you got to put the full public one so that I can just click on it and bring it up. All right. If you do that, I will do that. So we're going to do a couple of those. In the meantime, I'm going to hit this question from Shannon. Hey, Shannon. Do you have any tips for the about statement when you are a recent college graduate and don't have too many years of experience and haven't managed teams? Yes, Shannon, you rock. Congratulations. First of all, I love working with college grads. We work with a ton of them over at Work It Daily. And the simple thing there is that less is more. If there's nothing worse than when a college grad tries to hype themselves up, which Shannon, I already can tell you don't, because that's why you asked this question. Way to go. I would just say, graduated with a degree in X and looking for a degree or looking for a job in the blank field, right? So let's say you said I graduated with a degree in marketing and I am looking for a job in the industry in the greater St. Louis area. Boom, that's it. And then put, subjects studied include, and then you would list all those key skill sets, digital marketing, email campaigns, right? List all the technologies that you're familiar, whatever it is. But list it in the vertical format. Keep it nice and simple. Recruiters are just going to know by your work experience that you're entry level, and they're looking for entry level. So we don't have to fake it. You absolutely do not have to try to fill the LinkedIn page. Instead, just keep it to one sentence, put a nice list of vertical things that you studied, transferable skills that you studied, and you'll be just fine. Okay? Good question, Shannon. Congrats again. One more question here from the Avid Actor. Where would you find top keywords for your position to put in the headline? Essentially, what are the top SEO words they are looking for? So here's a really fun tip. go over to a job description of a job that you really like and copy all of the text in the job description. Then go over to any one of the free word cloud tools that are online. Like there's one like wordle.net. There's lots of them, but just, Google search or internet search word clouds, and then take all that job description text and put it in a word cloud, and boom, up will come a word cloud. And some of the words will be much bigger than others. And the reason for that is that means those words were used repeatedly through the job description. It's one of the techniques I love to use in Work It Daily, and you'll very quickly be able to see what the top 10 skills are that you need to use. It's that simple. It's like magic. So give that a try and you should be fine. All right, let's see if we have any brave souls that are looking for a LinkedIn. Oh, I got one right here. We're going to start with, let's see. Go right up here. First one I see here, we're going to go with Manoj. I hope I'm saying that right. Let's see if we can get your profile up. Bear with me. I'm going to try to get that up there. I got to try to get your actual, it's not going to let me do that. Hold on. How am I going to get your profile to come up? I will figure this out. It's giving me a hard time. I'm going to fill it in here. And let's see. I think that's it. Let's see if we get it. We get it? There we go. Woohoo! Let's bring that up so everyone can see it. And boom. Can we all see? Very good. Congratulations. So first of all, it's a nice clear headshot. It's close up. You look a little on the serious side, but not in a bad way. But again, at least it's not one of those pictures that's like hard to see or dark or clear. It sounds like this is your business. So you've listed a phone number and a hashtag. So clearly to me, I'm thinking this is a business owner. This is not somebody looking for work. So if you're looking for work, I would say take that down. If you are a business owner and you're looking to sell your services, leave it up, okay? Then you've done a good job here with the key skill sets. One thing I would tell you is that without a space between the vertical line divider and the hashtag, it's reading that all as one word. So I would make sure you put a space there so that your hashtag can be just by itself. And then these are obviously, you're putting in hashtags. Hashtags are becoming a more popular part of LinkedIn these days, but there is no proof that having it in your headline is any better, to be perfectly honest with you. I might consider putting it in the about section, because for me, reading it right now is a bit distracting in your headline. I would rather just see your key skill sets without the hashtags in the headline. In the about section, okay, so you've spaced it out, which is nice, but this is all you talking about, you're fascinated by blockchain. So of course, if I'm a recruiter, I'm like, okay, whatever. Oh, now he's talking to me about technology. So now you're kind of pitching me. And if that's not what I was looking for, I'm not going to read it. So, the first number I see is over the past 20 years. So maybe my eye is going to jump down and I'm going to read that, but you've put all your skill sets in a sentence format. So it's not really easy for me to read and kind of checklist off in my mind. And then you've put some quotes, which great if I like quotes, not great if I don't like them. So my advice here is, this is a classic example of, it's not an bad about section, but it's only going to, a very specific person is going to respond to this. And it's not really cohesive if you're like looking for a recruiter to contact you, or even if you are looking for a business to contact you. I don't think this is what I'd put here. I'd really want to hear what you've gotten done as a business owner. So this whole about section doesn't really prove to me what you've accomplished in your career. And then I go down into your work history and you've got a lot of text. So it took me, I had to hit the more to be able to see your numbers. So if I hadn't hit that, I wouldn't even know there were numbers there. So I would get rid of this long paragraph and I would get right to the good stuff, get right to the numbers so that I can see what you've accomplished. That's very, very important. Then this job has no bullet points. So again, I don't know why that's there. This job, no bullet points. And then all of a sudden I'm back to really long text. So it's very important that we simplify our work history. It should be bullet points. They should be 1 line to 2 lines long tops. And you really, again, should just be talking about what you accomplished at these places as a way to validate your experience. Otherwise, it's going to be too wordy and it's not going to get read. So you have got, let me just say this, incredible experience. I can see that here. Incredible experience. But I would argue, I'm not 100% sure. Are you a job seeker? Are you a business owner? What are you selling? What are you trying to accomplish? I don't have a super clear sense here. So I think there's a lot of work that you could do on this just to get more traction, just to get more people to actually take a look at your profile. But I'm so glad you brought this up, and hopefully those tips helped. Okay, we're going to look for another one here. Looks like, all right, let's see how I can get these to come up on the screen. They are harder than I thought. I'm totally winging it here today, trying to get these copied and pasted. They are not easy. We're going to go with Ashley. Let's see if I can figure out how to get Ashley's on the screen. All right, so we will work on that for a second. Ashley. We'll type it in. So I'm going to put Ashley. And then we're going to go with, let me just take a look. Ashley, I noticed you put the MRH after your name. So I just want to show you something with respect to that I think is really important. So let's see if we can bring this up on the screen. So I'm going to show everybody. Let's see if I can get this on the screen so you can see it right there. So I am trying to look up Ashley on the screen right now. And it is not bringing her up at all, even with the Ashley Johnson MHR. When I put that in, so a lot of people think that putting those letters in their name is helping. Ashley, that is really hurting the chances of people finding you, by the way. So I'm having to go through now and just use the regular Ashley, right? And it's very difficult to find you based on that. So I'm going to try now to put this all in. Now, the other thing I want to show you, Ashley, do you see all these numbers and letters? You need to get rid of that. Everyone here can create a custom URL. The fact that these are all on the end is making it even harder for people to find you. So if you had gotten rid of that and at least had Ashley Johnson MHR, it would have been easier for me to find you. As it stands now, I'm going to go up here to LinkedIn and I'm going to try to put all that info in. But how am I going to be able to remember, Ashley, that you are, let's see, I'm going to put Ashley, and I've got to put in Johnson, and now I've got to be able to put in the long list of let me see if I can put in Ashley Johnson MHR, see what we get, and it says profile not available. So you really want to work on that. And Ashley, you are not alone. So many people have this problem. They don't realize that they need to be able to do that, MHR. And now I've got to go back, Ashley, and I'm going to go back to StreamYard and try to look at 507-9634B. 507-9643B, I think. Is that right? Did I say that right? So now I got to come back again and double check it. 9634B. 507-96. Oh, I even got it wrong. I'm going to do 34B. And can we get to Ashley? Yay, we made it to Ashley. All right, let's see if I can get that up there. Okay, hang on here. We are going to get this, Ashley. This one's, we've got that one. We're going to go to this one, and let me get that one shared on the screen. Woo, this is hard work. Let's see. There we go. And there you are, Ashley. Can we all see Ashley now? There we go. All right. So again, reminder, folks, this was a great example. Ashley, get rid of those numbers, my friend. Promise me you will simplify that. Ashley, I'm also going to suggest you get rid of the MHR. You don't need it. So a couple of things here. Let's look at Ashley's profile. Let's bring that up front and center. Let's get that off and let's take a look here. So the first thing, Ashley, I love that you used your maiden name. That way, if any of your friends or family or whoever in the past that can look up your maiden name, I think your picture's super approachable. It's fantastic. The reason I want you to drop the MHR is that letters after the name, as you saw, can totally throw off the search results. But more importantly, we only save letters for PhDs, JDs, PEs, and CPAs. Those four professions absolutely require you to have the letters after your name to be able to practice, so to speak. You are not required to have an MHR to do your job. Same thing with MBA, MS, same thing with these certifications that people get, like the PHP or whatever, or the PMP, sorry. You don't put those after your name anymore, folks. There was a time when you did that because it was very rare for people to get secondary degrees. Very, very rare. These days, everybody's getting a secondary degree, and therefore they are not as special. The other thing that concerns me here for you, Ashley, is that if a recruiter was looking for you and the job they had in mind did not require an MHR, you will not even get called. So you are basically disqualifying yourself from opportunities because you're saying that you're overqualified. So put the MHR where it belongs, down in the education section, and congratulations, because I know that was a lot of work, but I would not overemphasize it here for the reasons that I suggested. And I'm so glad you showed that, because that's a really important one. Now, she put dedicated human resources professional. The human resources part, she will get searched on, but the dedicated, she will not get searched on, and she will not get searched on for professional. It's if they know you're a professional, so you don't need that. And dedicated is subjective. Now, I know you're dedicated. We know, everyone here knows you are, but that is an opinion of yourself. And so you don't want to list that. Instead, Ashley, I want to see the top 5 or 6 skill sets. It might be, if you're in human resources, do you do benefits administration? Do you do recruiting? Do you do training? Do you do onboarding? Do you do vendor selection? What is it about your area of expertise in HR that you most want to focus on skill set wise? Those are what should be in the headline with the vertical line dividers so that you can get found more. As far as the about section goes, we're going to scroll down here. We're going to see more. Now, I love that Ashley kept it short. Look at this, folks. It's just 2 sentences long. But what's missing for me here are numbers. I don't really understand at a glance the depth of Ashley's experience. Also, I'm seeing a lot of that subjective text again, which, by the way, everybody does. Here's the thing, and this is the thing that I have to remind people of, and it's so hard to hear, but it's so important. School never taught us how to do any of this. So you know what we all do? And let's be honest, I love LinkedIn. I'm so grateful for this platform. I don't know what we did before it. But LinkedIn has never, ever said, here's exactly what you do and don't do on our platform. They've always been very hands-off intentionally. They don't believe it's their responsibility, and I understand why, to tell you how to use their platform. That being said, I can tell you that when we do this very subjective text, it's not conveying anything of value to me. So let's read this. Organizationally focused and enthusiastic professional. Okay, that's you saying that about yourself. You might think you're enthusiastic, but somebody else might not, right? And your experience in all areas of human resource. What does all areas mean? A proven ability, there's that word proven, the single most overused word in every LinkedIn profile, like in the world, in executing a wide range of HR duties. Do you see where I'm going with this, folks? This is like the safest explanation. This could be hundreds of thousands of you could just insert your industry here and it would match. And Ashley, I swear I'm not beating up on you. I love you for putting this up here, my friend. And we're going to connect, and I'm going to make sure that this thing is rock solid when you're over, because this is great from one HR person to another. But Ashley, I want specs. I want to hear X plus years of experience in HR. Have led teams ranging in the size of blank to blank. Have worked for companies ranging in the size of blank to blank in revenues. Just the revenue number alone is going to tell me how big the HR organization was. So those numbers are going to help me understand the depth of your HR experience without you having to say all these words. And then I want a nice, beautiful list of all those specialties that you're saying. When you say wide range, I want to see the 10, 15 things you're talking about. That is going to help me understand you very cleanly and very easily. And then down here in the work history, just very similar. So she's got bullet points, which I love, but it's looking really smushed. So my advice to you is to go in and put a hard space between each of these bullet points so they're not on top of one another, Ashley. See, look at that. That's a lot of text. Everybody see that for a second. In 6 seconds, what am I taking away from that? Nothing. But if she spaced it out so they were smaller chunks and it was easier to digest, and if there were some numbers in here, like let's look at this first one, Ashley. Advise and coach operations and location managers. How many? What if you just put in advise and coached 50 plus operations and location managers? Wow. Okay. Now we're talking. See? So conduct workforce planning and staffing needs for a X hundreds of person company. Okay. Now I got a number. Provide human resources support to, 15 different departments, including union, non-union management, right? So all of that. Effective employer branding strategy. What was the budget for that? How many people have you trained or led? So go back through this, circle every noun and say, can I quantify that in some way? How do I quantify this experience so that people know what I'm talking about? Because look at you, over 4 years at this organization. You are the real deal, Ashley. You've got serious experience, but I am not seeing or absorbing that in this platform right now. And you are so much better than that. You are amazing. So my advice, we're going to update and get some more keywords. We're going to take MHR off. We're going to update, get keywords in this headline. We're going to improve this about section with some numbers and simplify the text. And then we're going to get some spacing and some numbers in this work history. And we're going to have an even stronger, much stronger LinkedIn profile. Because again, you are seriously the money and you are missing out. Excellent. All right. Is this starting to make sense to everybody? Yes? Let me see if there's any more questions. Again, if you have questions, put the word question first so that I can see it. And then you will absolutely be able to ask me your question here. And in fact, I see one from DM. DM said, would having too many years of experience, say over 20 years, be detrimental? You know, I personally don't put more than the last 20 years on there because anything over 20 years really isn't relevant. I mean, I think about my own experience over 20 years ago. It's not going to be relevant in any way today. So yeah, I just think from a standpoint of your most recent experience is your most relevant. That's what you should do. Can you also be discriminated for your age? You betcha. So that's another reason probably not to go more than 20 years. Good question. Very good question. Let's see here. What else do we have here for questions? Is this making sense, team? Listen, I'm going to stop here for a second while I'm answering all these questions. Do you like this? How does it feel? What is it like for all of you to watch somebody go top to bottom through your profile? One, tell you you're awesome, because you are. You're all, the fact that you're all here already says something. But how does it feel to have somebody tell you exactly what to fix and why in a video format? Do you like this? Would you like to have it done for yourself? And then would you like to know exactly how to fix it? And then would you like a trained expert to confirm that you fixed it and that everything's good to go? I just described to you what our company does, in case you're wondering. People don't understand that Work It Daily is staffed by trained career coaches who will look at your resume, look at your LinkedIn profile, look at your cover letter, and do what I'm doing today and video record and tell you exactly what to fix. And then we have all the materials to show you how to fix it. And then you work with our coaches one-on-one. And then there's so many other perks I'm not even going to get into it. I'm just going to explain to you that what I just did here today, the team and I do every day, all day long inside Work It Daily. It's why we love what we do, because it's these little changes that are going to get you results. It's why we're called Work It Daily. It's the little things that are going to make all the difference. So if you've ever thought about working with us, now is the time. I don't know if y'all know this, but we have a 3-day free trial. So you can go over, sign up with us, and actually start doing this today. And it's a game changer, right? It's a game changer. So if I didn't get to you today, it's okay. When you're ready, come on over. I can't guarantee the 3-day trial will always be there. That's something we're just doing right now. But when you're ready to have your LinkedIn profile worked on like this, you know where to find us, okay? Awesome. All right, let's answer some more questions. Let's see. What else do we have here? What other questions can I answer for you today? So I scroll through all of these. Let's see. This one is from Marianne. How can I use LinkedIn effectively when you're wanting to change your career? Oh, that's a wonderful question, Marianne. So first of all, the challenge is that you can't change your profile to get job opportunities in the career path you want to go in because you don't have experience, right? LinkedIn is all about the experience that you have, not the experience that you want. So you're not going to use LinkedIn necessarily for that. What you are going to use LinkedIn for is to identify a bucket list of employers, Marianne, that hire for the type of job you're interested in. And then you're going to research the people that are in the job that you're interested in at those companies. And then what you're going to do is customize a connection request. So it's very important that you have your profile optimized, right? And then you could even put in your about section one line that says, looking to move into this career. Very simple, right? And then your normal info. But what you're going to do is reach out to these people and say, your profile came up when I was researching your company. I'm looking to eventually make a career change into this field. I see that you do it for the company. I'd love to connect and hear your one biggest piece of advice when getting into the field. So what you want to do is make it very easy for people on LinkedIn to answer. When you send somebody a message out of the blue and say, I want to hear all about what it's like to be, a digital marketer at the company, no one's going to respond to you. They don't have time for that. But if I research and I reach out to you, Marianne, and I say, Marianne, thanks for connecting. Can I ask a favor? What's your number one piece of advice for people who are getting into this industry? Or what do you think is the one most important thing that somebody new should do in order to stand out in the process? When you ask for the one, everyone can answer one. Everyone can give you a quick tip back and feel like they've made an impact and delivered to you. But when you ask something too big or too open-ended these days, they're not going to respond. And that's how I would be using LinkedIn right now, Marianne. And the reason for that, here's the other thing you want to do. Try to connect with at least 4 or 5 people. Just get them to accept your connection request. Customize the connection request and then connect with them. And the reason for that is when there's finally a job that you think you might be a fit for at the company, you would want to apply and write a cover letter explaining why you're passionate about making this career change. And then you could reach out to those connections and say, hey, just wanted to let you know, thanks to reviewing your profile and the company, I just applied to the XYZ job. You're not asking for any favors, you're just acknowledging. But the other neat thing is that when the recruiter on LinkedIn looks at who's applied, it tells them how many people you're connected to at the company. So if in advance, this is why you have a bucket list of employers, folks. If in advance you've connected with people at these companies, when a job comes available and you apply, the recruiter sees, oh, they're connected to 5 people, and they'll go see who you're connected to. It doesn't matter whether or not you've even spoken to these people before. What it says is that you're connected to 5 people. It will mentally increase the chances that the recruiter will look at your profile. Because what? They like referral. It's all about referral. So that's how I would be using it, Marianne. Hopefully that makes sense. Wow. Okay. All right. I need to stop there, team, because I've got another live session to do inside the Work It Daily platform. We do live events all the time inside there as well, and I need to go prep for that at 1 o'clock. But I really appreciate you stopping by today. Please let me know. We love your questions, comments, feedback. I mentioned the 3-day free trial. So if you want to get your profile assessed when the time comes, you know how to do that. But hey, listen, we got a ton of free resources right now. So please go on over to our free resource page. Lots of tools and things. I was on a call today with a group of people that got laid off. And I talked again about what is the hardest piece. And they said, it's just organizing a plan and getting started. There's a lot of information out there, but very few places have it organized and structured the way we do. I'm very proud of that. And it's because there's an amazing team behind Work It Daily. So please, you need resources, you need information, you need perspective. Give yourself the gift of knowledge, right? And then when you're ready, you come join us over at Work It Daily and we'll take really good care of you. I promise. All right. Thank you everyone for stopping by. This was a really fun session. I want to give a big shout out to my 2 volunteers today. You were absolutely fantastic professionals. Please connect with me on LinkedIn and we'll get those profiles updated. And the rest of you, if you're in the US, have a great 4th of July weekend and take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you all next time on the next JT Talks Jobs. All right, everyone. Bye-bye.